As in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., famous words, injustice anywhere threatens justice everywhere. And as he dealt with the boycott of the Montgomery bus line, he said these famous words as he is met with Lyndon Johnson. He says that we are determined here in Montgomery to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness, what? We have not lost sight that that's what we must do still today. That job is undone. It is up to us. The baton has been passed to this generation to carry the fight on for justice and righteousness. How can you have justice and the people who are in leadership roles are corrupt? You know, we often talk about Lady Justice, and because one of Americans' guiding principles is that Lady Justice wields the sword of judgment in righteousness. And that Lady Justice is blind as they will. That Lady Justice is supposed to be colorblind as justice is meted out. Every last one of us as an adult in America knows that justice is not blind. And that justice for all is not equally distributed. We need to clap about that. Since the formal end of chattel slavery in 1865, where we were nothing more than property, at the end of the Civil War, we must call it like it is. Racism is still alive and well. It just has taken on new forms. See, we need to understand that some things just, it becomes the same thing, but it just keeps changing its name. Because if overt racism is illegal, then you just find other ways to do it. So we had Jim Crow, and a lot of the civil rights got rid of the side of that, but there is something today more insidious than anything we have ever had to deal with as a race. Because nowhere is justice and righteousness more crucial than in the courts. African Americans, 13% of America are 44% of those in prison, according to National Public Radio information. According again to Michelle Alexander, more black men, now listen carefully, are behind bars or under the watch of the criminal justice system than there were enslaved in 1850. 846,000 black men were incarcerated in 2008 alone. Most, not for selling drugs. That's why so many of y'all young people here, because God wants me to share something with you to save your future. For getting high, for smoking pot. How do you get these years and years for smoking marijuana? To Victory Youth and those watching on television, I'm going to quote the scriptures to you. 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Bad company corrupts good character. You can't run with Snooki and them, little executioner, and you come out innocent and clean. What the Bible teaches you is stay away from Snooki and little executioner and Pistol Pete. Because the next thing you know, you are caught up in a system that is so unimaginable, that destroys your life, that the rest of your life is destroyed off stupid decisions as teenagers and as young adults. Can I keep on preaching? You see, if you want to destroy a race of people, start with the men, start with the boys. Today, black men are not thrown into the now. Black men are thrown into jail. Without men, a race has no power. Without men, women don't have anybody eligible to marry. Let the sisters say amen. Without men, families are impoverished. We have a whole society of young people today who come up not knowing their father, not knowing their mother, and they're filled with father anger and father resentment. And we come up then as a people who can't pass healthiness on to the next generation, because when you unhealthy, how you gonna pass healthiness on to anybody else? And I wanna be clear, I'm not finished. Because after being locked up, if that ain't enough, then we are locked out. What do you mean, Pastor Singleton? Now it is the period of what scholars call invisible punishment. You done paid for the crime of the legal system, but society is still charging you as guilty. Why? Can't vote, employment almost impossible, unable to find housing, you're depressed, fear of parole violation. Ladies and gentlemen, racism everywhere, and the next thing you know, recidivism has occurred, and you're right back where you started from. And I'm preaching to someone out here today. We cannot lock out a whole generation of young men and young women. I'm gonna preach this. It's so easy to just give up on them. They ain't here. We ain't got to deal with them. Out of sight, out of mind. But ladies and gentlemen, that is an injustice. This is the reason that Jehovah accuses the Israelites as not as a nation. He does it in other places, but here he focuses on them as individuals. You and I have individual responsibilities regarding justice. We can do what we can do. So let me help you with a story. There's a story of a man that's walking along the beach. And as he walks along the beach, he sees another man who is picking up starfish that have washed the shore, like that picture. Thousands and thousands and thousands of starfish. And so as the man is picking them up and throwing them back out into the ocean, the gentleman walks up to him and says, "You can't possibly throw all of them back into the ocean. What difference does it make? You can't throw them all back. It's too many." So what the man did is he picked up a starfish. And he took that starfish and threw it back out into the ocean. And then he said, "What I did mattered to that starfish." What if all of us were out there picking them up? We could get rid of a whole lot of them. What you and I do as individuals, it matters. It matters to your son. It matters to your daughter. It matters to your cousin. It matters to your nephew. It matters to your uncle. It matters.